Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host Jennifer and your tea host. It's Tuesday and that means Tuesday tea with cinnamon. Alright, so hopefully I remember to put the beginning in because I've been really bad about putting the Tuesday tea with cinnamon video on the Tuesday tea videos. And I've been called out many times. Come on, we like the song, put it back. I keep forgetting because what happens is I pre-record a whole bunch of videos and I try to edit them and get them up within the time frame of school or whatever else I'm currently in between. And I've been rushing the editing job. I admit this, and I've been forgetting. Today's tea and sugar is sponsored by Ange. I believe that is who sent this. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it's Ange. So, this is Stash Meyer Lemon. The ingredients are rose hips, lemongrass, orange peel, hibiscus, citric acid, Meyer lemon oil, and safflower. Now, hopefully, this does not upset my tummy because I'm very sensitive to citric acid. But that smells delicious. It smells very citrusy. I'm in the mood for citrus. It's hot outside again today. And there's a good chance my hair is going to get pulled up during this video because I'm hot already. And I just got out of the shower. There's not a lot of good ventilation in this room. And the vent is right in front of me, but I can't feel nothing. And also the door is closed to prevent the dogs. However, I was in the mood for Meyer Lemon. I am soaking it in a giant measuring cup because I'm going to ice this baby. I'm too hot to drink hot tea. I want some iced tea, and nothing sounds better to me than lemon. This is steeping very orange. Like already it's turning orange. So, probably from the orange peel. Yeah, so I am going to put some sugar in the raw in there as well because I want my tea sweet, and it's better to put the sugar in so that it can melt while the tea is hot before you put it into the ice and cool it down, and it will hopefully melt the sugar. Got my straw as a stirrer to mix that up. Hopefully that melts down. It is slightly off from boiling because it's been sitting in the cup for a few minutes while I prepare to film this video. Alright. Hopefully that dissolves. It's not looking like it's dissolving very well. That's the downside to having a see-through cup, as you can see whether it's doing what it's supposed to do. Got my ice cup all ready. Vacation Club, because I'm a Disney Vacation Club member, times 2. Times 2. So, I also got my Mickey Mouse shirt on. I got Mickey Mouse vibes. I got summer vibes happening. I'm hot, I'm sweaty. Okay, today, while we're waiting on our tea to steep, let's get some things out of the way. Now, this is also going to be a hook review. So we are, at some point, going to taste the tea, and then we're going to go down to the table and review this bad baby. Now, this is a new hook from Furls. Let me get real close so that you guys can really get an idea what I'm talking about. Furls Streamline. This is, however, they have newly released metal Furls Streamline hooks. So to give you an idea, let me make sure I have, they have Furls Wood. So this is the Streamline, the wood one. They have Furls Resin. So we got wood, we got plastic, resin, and now they have metal. So, before Furls had these bad baby, they still have all of these hooks. These hooks are still all available. This is the Odyssey. This is the most expensive out of all of these 4 hooks. These are my favorite hooks for the most part. These are the hooks I reach for first and foremost. But these are also the only hook that I've ever broke has been a Furls Odyssey, and it snapped off here where the metal meets the plastic handle. And there is a metal core to this that goes all the way through, which I learned by breaking the hook. but it is not the same material as the outer part of the hook. So I was very excited when they released this because I prefer metal hooks. So this is an unboxing and review. I have unboxed this and looked at it, but I'm saving all of my opinions till we actually work on this. But I do have opinions. Now, I got, what size did I get? I got a J hook because my name starts with J. That's the only reason I got a J hook. It was wrapped in plastic in this box that all their other hooks come in as well. So J hook is 6 millimeters. First impression was, wow, that is a good looking hook, right? Like it's all shiny and it looks like futuristic and it's pretty and it's shiny, right? But also it's heavy. And I'm going to pull out, I need to find my scale. My scale's somewhere in this desk. I'm going to weigh this because this let me find a 6. H-I-J-K. So this is a K, this is a J. In my hands, they feel about the same weight. Maybe slightly. Depends on what hand I'm holding in it. This hand must be weaker. Because this, both, no matter what, if I switch it, this one feels heavier. So I'm gonna pull out my scale. I really should find a J hook though. I think my J hook is in a project bag. It's an M. You think that's my J hook. The thing that I will say, dang it. If yarn goes anywhere near my hook caddy, it gets stuck. So I will say this, the thing that I really like about this one-piece construction is I think, and I may be totally wrong, that this has a way less chance of breaking than all the rest of their hooks. Now, I'm saying that because it's all one solid piece. It feels really heavy and sturdy. And before I broke an Odyssey hook, I thought there's no way this is ever going to break. Like it is rock solid. And I was crocheting with it and it snapped here. So I was completely wrong about that. The core in here looks like brittle metal when it's broken open. And I wish I had saved it to show you guys, but I do have pictures somewhere on my phone. So I really like that this is all one solid metal piece. This is also cheaper than the Odyssey. Let me double check because I didn't write this down. I am not prepared as per usual. We're used to that here on this channel where I pretend to be really prepared and I get in my head that I'm definitely prepared and then I always, oh, there's something I need to look at. So the Furls Odyssey hooks, the one with the colored base and the metal head. Their website has lots of information on here. Odyssey. These are $36. And you hear that lovely noise? The metal Furls Streamline, let me find it, are $26. So that's a $10 difference. $10 difference. And then the regular resin ones are $24, so they're $2 cheaper than this. And the wood ones I think are the cheapest. They used to be, I hope they still are. These are $17. So 17, 20, did I say 22? No, 24. 17, 24, 26, 36. Okay? Write that down because I'm going to forget in about 30 seconds because that's just how my brain works. Now, I am going to show you really close down on the table to this hook. This hook has a flaw. So, there is, right here, there is what looks like a chip out of the metal. And like I said, I see it. It's right here, right along the edge. So, I am going to hold opinions until I actually use it, but that kind of irritated me because in the past, my Furls Odysseys have gotten burrs. So the chrome exterior, that very shiny exterior, is just a coating on the outside of these hooks. And I have used the wrong yarn on these. You cannot use scrubby yarns with these. You cannot use like a rough cotton with these because it takes the polish off and you'll get burrs. And then your yarn will snag and snag and snag and snag. That's another thing with the Furls hooks. So I'm kind of upset that there's that little flaw on there. Especially, I mean, I can see flaws like that happening with a wood hook. But happening with a stainless steel or whatever this metal is kind of disconcerting to me. And then when I rub my hand, like if I rub, it feels rough along that edge. So I'm going to use a few different yarns to see the effect that the hook has on it, but there is definitely a flaw or a fault. And I don't know if this is just my bad luck with Furls, but like, I just seem to be getting flaws in my hooks lately. So with that being said, I will say this though, comparing the heads of the two, this is the Odyssey, this is the new Streamline. The head right here is way sharper, and this is rounded. This one's more pointy, and I predict that that is going to help because I do have other hooks that are very similar in shape to these. You guys know what I'm talking about. That have the more pointy head, and it does help me to get into my stitches better because a lot of times with the Furls hook, and even though I love my Furls hooks, I love them. That roundedness, sometimes I have to pull the stitches open to get the hook in if I'm tight stitching or doing complicated stitches. And I've always been 100% honest with my opinions on Furls. I was at one time a Furls affiliate. I have decided to remove my affiliate links. So these opinions are not sponsored. They are not honored. They are not, probably not respected by Furls, but that's a whole nother story. I still love my Furls hooks. I do. I just don't want to be, I don't want my opinions to be linked to a payment anymore because of things. So with that being said, it has a nice deep throat, nice deep cut into the head to grab yarn, hopefully. But yeah, we're definitely going to test that out. And I am going to pour my tea because I can feel, well, my ice cube got stuck. I can feel that my throat is wanting to be irritated. And so that tea got very dark. I steep my tea double bag when I'm icing it so that it's stronger because I like my tea strong regardless. Sometimes I just double steep it because, and yeah, so I'm gonna pour it over the ice very slowly and carefully so I don't pour it on myself. Can I tell you, last week or the week before, I did this. My brilliant self did this. Okay, and then I stuck my metal straw in there into the hot liquid and proceeded to a big giant boiling mouthful of water, of hot water, because I wasn't thinking and it wasn't iced yet, and I got boiling water and I scalded the entire inside of my mouth and proceeded to have to open my mouth and let all the water pour down all over myself because I scalded myself. So don't do that. Wait till the ice is nice and stirred in. That's why we're going to give it an extra stir because I don't want to scald myself any longer. Yeah, that was good times. Good times indeed. Alright. It's cool. It's cool. That is very refreshing. It almost tastes minty. That might be my toothpaste. I did brush my teeth recently. We might just be refreshing the toothpaste in there. I don't know. It's probably what's happening. Because there's not mint in this, right? And I ripped the ingredients. So, yeah, that's not the right top. Let me see. Let's try this bag. Yes, there is no mint. There's hibiscus, safflower, and rose hips. This is a very good tea. I recommend this tea to anyone. It is Stash Meyer Lemon. Very good. And naturally caffeine free. It says steep 3 to 5 minutes. So you can get these at stashtea.com. Thank you so much, Ange, for sending me that. And the sugar, that is delicious. I'm probably gonna need some more ice soon though, because that melted quick. All right, well, we tasted the tea. We talked about the hook. Let's go to the table and let's actually work with this hook so I can give you a well-rounded opinion, not just first looks, because first looks, it's a beautiful hook. It's very fancy. And it has a flaw in it. So I'm torn. My opinion is torn. Now, if there's a flaw in it and it crochets just fine and my yarn don't snag, then we will call it a wonderful hook. And I'm going to do measurement. I'm going to weigh it. I'm going to do all the things. So let's go to the table. I'm going to switch to my phone because my phone photographs, or my phone connects better to that tripod that's over there so that we can look downward because it's a different tripod. And let's just go to the table. Let's just go to the table. All right, now we're getting situated. We got a lot of things going on all at one time. So I have the hooks because I want to measure them. I want to measure them without shining the ring light entirely on there and see for the weight. Hopefully these will all right, let's do grams. Tear, because there's nothing on there. Tear. What? Why are you not tearing? There we go. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. Okay, so we're going to do grams. So we'll start with what I know to be the lightest hooks. And these are all either J's or K's because that's what I had available to me. And see if we can figure out. All right. So that is 24 grams for that one. The wood one, I think, actually is the lighter of the other ones. 14 grams. 15 grams. So that's almost 10 grams less than the resin hook. The one that I know is heavy is the Odyssey because I use this one most frequently. Some people say 45 grams. That's 20 grams more than the resin one. A lot of people say that the Odyssey is the heaviest and it's hard for them to use because of the heaviness of it. And I can totally see that. But let's see. Oops. There we go. Breaking the glass. Breaking the glass. All right, stop rolling. Stop rolling. It's not going to stop rolling. All right, so what we're going to have to do is tear that out. There we go. Now. Oh, really? That's what I get for being in a hurry. 46 grams. So the Odyssey, what did I say the Odyssey was? 45 grams. The Odyssey and the new metal hooks weigh about the same. So keep that in mind. They are much, much heavier, almost twice the weight of the resin hook. And they are definitely over twice the weight of the wood hook. So if you have a hard time holding things that are heavy, keep that in mind when I'm reviewing these hooks. You might not like this hook at all. I'm going to take a drink of my tea. All right, now, I have shown reviews on all three of these hooks in other videos way, way before I fell in love with Furls hooks. They do take getting used to, and I will say that. They take getting used to. I don't know why there's paper here. I don't know why I have paper here. It took me a while to get used to the weight and how slippery the Furls the Furls Odyssey hooks specifically are. They're very slippery, and there's mixed reviews on these hooks. These, however, when I'm working up a project and I want it to go fast and I really want to get in my groove, these are the #1 hooks that I reach for always. I like the resin ones. The resin ones work good. The resin ones are picky with which yarn you can use them with, as are the wood hooks. The wood hooks are the ones I reach for absolutely last. I'm just not a big fan of wooden hooks in general. So, this is a swatch that I worked up when I was reviewing this yarn. So we're going to take back the part that is knit. We're just going to work from the crochet part because why the heck not, right? And that's not even the right. Let me go back far enough. All right. There we go. So let's give this a fair shot. Because I've already worked with this yarn, I've given you a review of this yarn. This yarn, by the way, is Premier Basics Mosaic. I know that I like this yarn. I know that it works up well. Because I have knit and crochet with this yarn extensively, I figured this would be the best chance to see how this hook works with a very generic, very basic, pun totally intended, acrylic yarn. Because I have on my desk, I have acrylic, I have polyester, I have wool, and I have cotton. So we're going to give this hook a full review, and I'm worried about that burr a little bit, but we're going to, or the fault. Let's just get started, okay? And if it snags on this yarn, we know it's a problem with the hook. I have the shakes a little bit, and I don't know why. This has been happening more and more, mostly when I'm crocheting in the morning. I have a little bit of the shakes. So this is a new hook, so I'm going to give it a chance to warm up to the stitches, warm up to the yarn, warm up to what I'm doing, because I've been noticing more and more, and this is with all crochet hooks across the board from any company. They seem to not be as polished as they used to be, so they're not as slippery coming to me, and I've been having to clean off surface stuff from manufacturing. So I will say that, and this hook does not feel perfectly like clean, and it is definitely rough with this yarn. It's rough with this yarn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple rows with this. I'm doing half doubles right now. I'm going to do a couple rows with this, and then I'm going to switch back to the Odyssey, because that is really what I'm comparing it against, is the Odyssey. This feels nice in my hand. It feels very similar to the Odyssey. However, when I'm holding the Odyssey, a lot of times I hold around this part. So I get like chips in the paint from where I either hold it with this hand, or, you know, it wears off at the color, which that doesn't bother me because it's a tool and I'm using it as a tool. And this doesn't have where I normally hold my finger, so that feels a little foreign to me. But that's not anything against the hook. That's actually a positive thing. You know what I didn't measure is length. I'm going to measure the length in just a second. Like I said, I'm going to warm this hook up a little bit. And I know I like full metal hooks. I really do. Don't get me wrong. I love my Odyssey. I love my Odyssey. I just love the idea that this is a full metal hook. It is not. It doesn't seem to be crocheting as well as my Odyssey. But like I said, I'm going to give it a couple rows and warm it up. This may also take getting used to, because it does feel, it feels differently in my hand than this does. Let me test. Oh, yeah, it's taller. All right. It's taller. So it's lined up down here. It's taller by a lot, and I could feel in my hand that it was taller. It's about the same length as the streamline resin. And it's a little bit longer than the wood. And I can feel that it's longer in my hand. I can feel it. And I'm doing half double crochets because half double crochets are my favorite, and they seem to go the fastest. This is very similar in design to the wood hook, in the fact that, and anyone that has used the Streamlined Furls hooks has pretty much said the same thing to me. This part is sharp. And it is. I can feel it. It's sharp right there. The wood hooks are also really sharp right here. And I've had a few people tell me that they've had to sand that down with the wood, but you can't really do that with the metal. That's very sharp. Whereas that is smoothed and rounded. This one is not. Yeah. So that may just be a function of the streamline style, is that this part is sharp. And I can feel it hitting, like when it comes back through the stitches, it's trying to grab the stitches. So that may cause excessive, see when I pull back through, it's wanting to snag it right there. And if I pull too tight, it's going to hit. And I can feel it pulling back against me. So this is not going to crochet as fast as my Furls Odyssey. And these are just, this is just me thinking out loud while I'm talking. This is not negatives or positives for or against, because that is going to come with time and usage. This is just me talking out loud my opinions as I'm feeling what I'm feeling, so that you guys can kind of like feel what I'm feeling through my thoughts, if you get what I'm saying. So, you know what? I'm going to try. I really like the noise that hook makes when it hits stuff, though. Yeah, this is a completely different hook. So if you're going to compare the Furls Metal Streamline to an Odyssey, it is not the same hook. It is not the same hook. It doesn't feel the same in my hand. It doesn't feel the same in the stitches or against the yarn at all. It's not the same hook. So if you think you're going to get a Furls Odyssey for $10 cheaper, it is not the same hook. There are differences. There are big differences. And I will show you what I mean. Oops. Wish I knew why I was so jittery lately. All right, so now let's get in really close. See if we can get the focus to be directly on the hook. All right, so side by side, do you see the difference? Those are completely different hooks. Now, if you move the other streamlines, so this is a streamline acrylic or resin, streamline metal Odyssey. Do you see the difference in the way that these hooks are created, the shape of the head? I'll also pull in the wood hook for you. If I can stop hitting the camera, I'm sorry for that. Do you see how, let me see if I can, this part here, you see that how it's like deeper and in an angle that way? So that makes this part more apt to snag, which I don't really have a problem with the resin hooks, but I absolutely have had a problem with the wood ones. And the metal one seems to be acting more like the wood one, where it's that part is snagging, coming back through the hoops, the loops. The head is pointier on the streamline, significantly more pointy than on the Furls Odyssey. You see how rounded the Furls Odyssey heads are? Now that is a point against Furls Odyssey, and it's not a huge point against the Furls Odyssey because, like I said, the Furls Odyssey is my favorite hook. I like the point that is more of a sharpness. It does help you to get into the tight stitches. I'll show you. When I'm coming in to work into the stitches like this way, oftentimes it's just not sharp enough, and I have to, especially if I'm working on something that is with specialty stitches, or I have to move into, see how it's not going in. Sometimes I have to like open the stitch with my fingernail to get it in. But if you come in with a slightly pointy, now it's going to prove to me it's not going to go in. Sometimes it will come in, that one's just too tight. It will come in a lot easier because it has that point on it. See? It will actually split the stitches open more. Yeah. See how that's rounded? Sometimes you got to open there. There, that was a good example. Okay. So the pointy head on the metal streamline is definitely better than the Odyssey. The smoothness is drastically different. The metal streamline almost has like a matte finish to it, where this Odyssey is very shiny. So these are different hooks. They're not, if you're going to compare the streamline, compare it to the streamline. Don't compare it to the Odyssey, because it is different hooks. Now, we worked it with the basic acrylic. Let's pull out, and I'm going to put this ball in my Yarnet so that it's not rolling all over the floor, because that was exactly what will be happening, is it will be on the floor. Throw that over there. Ching, ching. I feel like I have a wind chime piece. So when I'm going to test this yarn is the Forever Fleece Finer that was clearanced out at Michael's. It is 100% polyester. It's a very smooth, very slick yarn. Very nice yarn to work with. I really enjoy this yarn. So this is going to give me an idea for whether that burr or that flaw in the hook is going to cause problems, or whether or not I'm going to have a difficult time crocheting. I'm going to pull you guys up a little bit because I'm having a hard time seeing around the camera. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. It's really hard to peek around the camera. Look at your hands. All right, so there's no problem. It works really well with the polyester yarn. Very, very, very nice together. Very nice. I hope you guys are enjoying your tea for today's Tuesday Tea with Cinnamon. We didn't know this was going to be such a long Tuesday Tea with Cinnamon video, did we? But I wanted to give a thorough review on this hook because you guys value my opinion for some strange reason. I think it's the blatant honesty that comes out of my mouth constantly. I will not promote a product that I don't like. I absolutely won't. And if I don't like it, I will not show it on this channel. Because I just, you know, we're about positivity and we're about, you know, mostly honest reviews. Mostly. If I got to be negative, I usually just don't show it. Oh yeah, these are a dream together. First of all, this yarn is like crocheting with cotton candy. Like, it's just, and actually it's softer than cotton candy. I don't know what else I could compare this to because this yarn is so soft. And it is working like a dream with this yarn. It's not snagging or anything. Let's try double crochets. Oh yeah, that is nice. It's so strange how you can just switch yarns and go from, I'm not sure I like this hook, to, oh, that doesn't feel so bad. This hook is heavy though. I mean, I showed you guys how much it weighed. It is a heavy hook. And because I've been working mostly with lighter weight hooks lately, this is actually causing a little bit of wrist strain just from it being heavy. And the fact that when I crochet on camera, I have to hold my hand up above the table. And usually if I'm crocheting like on my lap, I rest my arms on my stomach. So that also contributes. Like there probably won't be as much wrist strain if I'm crocheting like I normally do. But I can only base this off of what I'm doing right this second. All right, so that works up. That works up nice with this yarn. I'm going to take another sip. I'm getting froggy. Everything is extra noisy today, you notice? Metal straw, metal cup, metal hook. They're all making noise. All right. Let's do a bean stitch. That'll give us an idea of a fancy stitch. Whoops. All right, bean stitch. Oh yeah, that was no problem. My yarn got wet. Dang it. I can feel it's wet on my finger and it's going to stick to the hook because it's wet. Ding dang. What happens when we drink tea and we crochet? We moisture. I think I probably like stretched it out and it dipped in my cup. Please tell me I'm not the only one that does the stupid things like that. All right, so it's fighting a little bit on the bean stitch, but that may be because I got this yarn wet. 2 and 3. Yeah. So the hook works good with polyester yarn. Works good with that. Feels nice. I feel like we got it all nice and warmed up. Let's move to the cotton, because cotton, and this is creme de la creme from Red Heart. This is a decent cotton. I actually really like this cotton. Let's see if I can find the end. But cottons tend to be a little rougher on certain, like, okay, cotton requires a certain type of hook. I will not ever use a resin hook on cotton because the two do not go together. Like there's either a squeak or like extra rubbing or there's extra like friction, I don't ever use cotton crochet, or yeah, cotton crochet. I don't ever crochet cotton with a resin hook for that reason, and I don't use wood very often. I will stick to usually my Furls Odyssey. So this is going to be a true test. And there is some friction. There is definitely some friction. This is going to be the true test. It's whether it gets hung up here. Cotton also has a tendency to want to split if you're using the wrong hook. I mean, it doesn't always, but there are some cottons that split terrible with the wrong hook, like terrible. I had this one yarn from Premier. It was called Rodeo, and it was cotton. It split at like, oh, no matter what I did, it just split. It was the worst cotton. I was like, yeah, I made a whole garment out of it. I was like, I'm never using this yarn again. I got rid of it all. Yeah, you guys can see I have significantly slowed down with cotton. However, that flaw has seemed to, like with me using it, doesn't seem as sharp. So maybe using it with yarn will help smooth that down. I don't feel that it's snagging at this moment. This part is definitely snagging, the tip of the hook. The sharp part of the mouth is definitely trying to snag. And there is definitely drag on this hook with the cotton, but I fully expected that. I'm going to do a row of double crochets. And then I'm going to show you this comparative with the Furls Odyssey so that we get an idea. I can show you. Because I have made larger projects with this creme de la creme yarn, and it has not been this draggy, so I'm thinking it's the hook. I like the noise it makes when it rolls and hits something, though. It's kind of a cool noise. Yeah. Totally, totally different. This is not, there's no friction on the Odyssey. None. That hook acts very much like the Streamline other hooks, which is so strange because it's metal. It's so strange. I really, really expected that to act more like an Odyssey hook, and it's not. It is absolutely not an Odyssey. But that's okay. It's not that it's bad that it's not an Odyssey. I actually am kind of digging this hook a little bit. I might order more. But if I order more of these, I will order them knowing the limitations of this hook. So I didn't like it with the basic acrylic. I loved it with the polyester. I don't like it with the cotton. And I have wool over there that I am not enjoying working with a regular hook. So there's a good chance I'm not going to like the wool with this either. But I think, to be fair, I am going to probably pull out anti-pilling acrylic because that is, like, in my opinion, the softest, bestest, most usable yarn. And we'll try that after we try. I'm actually making a shawl out of this yarn currently with, I think I'm using an Odyssey. And I'm not enjoying this yarn at all. So this is going to be a real test. I'm not enjoying this yarn. And it's not that it's bad yarn to work with. It's just, it's wool. This is Classic Shade Sequins Light. It's 74% acrylic, 22% wool, 4% paillette. Where's the beginning of the row or the yarn or whatever it's called? There it is. This yarn has a very sticky texture to it, so the wool, the wool is sticky. The wool is sticky. If you've worked with wool, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's also sequins on this yarn, which causes some issues. What I'm really not liking is the way the color is working up in this yarn. But this is what I had on hand for wool. So I was like, well, let's see. Oh yeah, this is just, it works nice with wool. There is no resistance with the wool. So this hook is going to work best with polyester, wool blends, and I'm going to take a guesstimate and say nice, soft, smooth acrylics. It was okay with the Premier Basics, but it was just okay, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, this works up just fine with the wool. I'm not going to do anything fancy with this yarn because of those sequins in there. Those sequins cause, you don't want to do anything too fancy because it's going to cause issues. It's going to cause, like if you're working a fancy stitch with this yarn, those sequins are not going to want to roll. They don't want to pull through the loop very easily. So that's why if you're going to have fancy yarn like this, just do simple. Simple, simple. Okay, so I like that with the wool. I like it with the wool. Sparkle, sparkle. I know I have anti-pilling acrylic somewhere close by. Somewhere close by. All right, well, so this is not, nope. Hang on, let me grab some. This is just the Premier Everyday. This is an older skein, so it's got Deborah Norville on there. I don't think they use Deborah Norville anymore, or if they do, I haven't seen anything with her face on it in a long time. This is their anti-pilling acrylic. This is my favorite yarn of all times, is Premier Everyday anti-pilling acrylic. It's just a good yarn. It's a smooth yarn. It's a soft, squishy yarn. You can pretty much do anything with this yarn and it lasts. So with that, let's test this out with my favorite yarn and see. Yeah, wow, that's a world of difference. World of difference. Okay, so yeah, this works good with smoother acrylics. There's no friction. There's no snagging. I don't even feel this part particularly being extra snaggy. I mean, it's snaggy anyway, but it's not extra snaggy like it was with the Premier Basics. I think it's just because this is a really smooth, this is smooth yarn. The anti-pilling acrylic is very nice and soft and squish, and it's got a little sheen to it. This is like the creme de la creme, far more so than the actual creme de la creme. So I'm doing double crochets. Okay, yeah, this is a decent hook. It's a decent hook. Like, what did I say this hook cost? $26? It's definitely cheaper than the Odyssey. It has benefits and it has negatives against the Odyssey. I think we've covered everything that I could possibly think of. It's a little bit heavy. However, the ergonomic, depending on how you hold your hook, the ergonomic shape of the hook is what draws people to Furls particularly, because for me, that's how I hold my hook. I don't pencil grip it. Like well, obviously I don't pencil grip it. I don't grip my hook. A lot of people do grip their hook, and they can't use this hook because sometimes they hold it and it stabs them here with some hooks. Like, that's a complaint I've always got, is they're too long and it hits them here. But for me, I hold it very loosely in my hand because I do have grip issues. And the shape and the weight of it helps it stay in my hand. That is why the Odyssey is my favorite hook, because it just fits my hand. I don't have to hold it. It doesn't, like, and you see, it doesn't change whether I'm crocheting with it or whether I'm just holding it. Like, I don't grab it any tighter ever. I just let it sit there. I just let it sit there. And, like, the pad on my hand pretty much holds it in place. So, what was the point of that? I was going to say something. I don't remember what I was going to say. That is supposed to be, like, their winning thing, is the shape. So that you're not holding a real skinny, hook where you got to grip it because it's so skinny. I don't think I have one close by. The benefit of the ergonomic hook is, see, how much more closed my hand has to be. This causes extra strain in your joints, specifically the tendons and the muscles that are in here. So like the muscles and the tendons that control your, I forget what those bones are called, the metatarsal something or another. So that's where a lot of the strain comes from, is in the small little bones that are here in your hand, and that causes strain on your wrist from holding a skinny hook. Because to hold this, I have to curl my fingers way more than if I'm holding this. See, it's very just loose. Whereas with the skinny hook, I'm like, I can feel it right here. So that's the main purpose of these shaped hooks. The weight, like I said, it's a heavy weight. You're gonna go lighter. This hook it works very similar. It feels very similar to the streamline resins. The complaints that I hear most often about the streamline resins is that they're scared they're going to break this. So I actually did I got a case off of Amazon for this. That is on my desk. For these resin hooks. And this is just, I'm not talking about that brand today, so we'll take that brand out. This is to hold your hook. This is a hard-sided pencil case. I will link it below. It's just an Amazon thing. I was questioned, how do you stop your hooks from getting broken in your project bags? This was $6. Something as simple as this. It's hard-sided. Will keep your hooks, your plastic resin hooks, if you can't use the heavy ones. That works very well for that, to keep them safe. Like I said, though, the one hook that I broke from Furls was one of these, and it broke here. And the one test that I've always had with the Furls hooks, the Odyssey in particular, is that these hooks, if I can get it to balance, these hooks are balanced. And of course it's going to give me problems today. They're balanced so that the weight on either end of the hook is the same. And anyone that uses tools, like for a living, will tell you that having a balanced hook is very beneficial, because it's not heavier on one end than on the other. And so it's balanced. It doesn't, like, you're not pulling extra because this is heavier, or you're not pulling extra because this is heavier. So that is one of the things that I have always really liked about the Odyssey hooks. Now this one, I don't know if it doesn't feel balanced at all. Let's see. It feels heavier on that side. So yeah, that's not, it's not exactly balanced the same. That tells you, because we're so far at the back end of this to get it to balance, that this end is heavier than that end, as opposed to the Odyssey, which is actually equally balanced, so that the handle part is as heavy as the head. This, if it was more balanced, it would balance right there, but it's not. It's clearly heavier on this end. So that's something else to consider. These are all the things that I factor into when I am considering what hooks I prefer, what hooks work best for you guys. And I hope that I gave you guys enough talking points, enough thinking points to really make you think about whether this is a tool for you or not, because I can't tell you that. Only you can tell yourself whether you think this is worth the money or not. I like it. I don't love it. I don't love it. I'm not in love with this. This is not replacing the Odyssey hooks, and for that matter, some of the other recent hooks that I have discovered. It's not replacing those, but it is a really cool hook, and it is neat to try out. And I hope some of this information I have given you has been helpful to you. It certainly has been helpful to me, because when I unboxed this hook, I'm going to be totally honest, I went, oh, that is a sexy hook. Like, it looks like a bullet. It's just, you know, it looks so futuristic, and like, dang, that's a good looking hook. That was my first instinct. And then when I was looking over the hook, when I saw the flaw right there, I mean, that right here, and then it's also right there, that really made me angry, because This hook is $26. But it didn't bother me crocheting at all. I didn't feel it. So will it be a problem in the future? I just don't know. I just don't know. But that's why we do these reviews. That is why I do in-depth reviews and show them with all the different yarns so that I myself can make a completely educated opinion on this. And so that you guys can hopefully think about some of these other things when you're choosing tools for yourself. Because the last thing I want is for somebody to spend $20-some on a hook and absolutely hate it. That's not what I want at all. So that's why I give you all this information. But isn't it? It is a sexy looking hook. It is. And that's what gets people, is because it looks so good. But yeah, so I like it. I like it. I don't love it. But I probably will buy another one in the future. Not anytime soon because I don't need any more hooks. But thank you so much for joining me for tea and hooks. That tea is delicious. I'm rather enjoying it. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this hook review tea video. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow yet because I haven't gotten that far. But hopefully we have something to talk about tomorrow. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.